Call the Circleville City Council meeting to order. It is Thursday, April 3rd, 2025 at 6 p.m. Melissa, could you do a roll call?
Keller.
Here.
Hedges.
Here.
Tice.
Here.
Klitzka.
Here.
Hallinan.
Absent.
Moats.
Here.
Lukasak.
Here.
Duval.
Here.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our
Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day our daily bread,
and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen.
Council, this is a special meeting that's been called by the mayor for the purpose of reading legislation. So could I have an amendment to take items 4 through 9 off the agenda?
I will make that motion, please. to
So
remove
moved
those.
by Tom Klipska, seconded by Sherry Tice. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, that brings us to the business portion of tonight's meeting of the reading of the ordinances and resolutions. So we have some ordinances up for third reading. Melissa, go right ahead.
Resolution authorizing the Circleville Pumpkin Show, Inc. to use the city administration parking lot located at 120 East Franklin Street during the Circleville Pumpkin Show for the calendar years of 2025 through 2029 to be used as space for arts and craft vendors.
Council, you've heard the third and final reading of this resolution from the Strategic Planning Committee.
Thank you, President Keller. I think everyone understands this is pretty straightforward, just for the pumpkin show to use the city parking lot.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we pass this ordinance.
It's been motioned by Sherry Tice to approve the resolution, seconded by Tom Duval. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Klitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The resolution passes.
Is assigned 4/21/2025. An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to execute and file an application with the Ohio Department of Natural Resources for the possible financial assistance through the Nature's Work Grant Program and declaring an emergency.
Council for the third and final reading of this ordinance, again from Strategic.
Thank you, President Keller. Yes, this is for a small grant of up to $26,000 for pickleball court at Barthelmess Park.
All right.
Make a motion for passage?
Motion for passage by Sherry Tice, seconded by Audrey Lukasak. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Klitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
It is assigned 4/22/2025. An ordinance authorizing the Director of Public Service to enter into a Clean Ohio Green Space Conservation Program grant agreement with the Ohio Public Works Commission to provide grant funds to improve local environment for the city of Circleville and declaring an emergency.
Council, you've heard the third and final reading of this ordinance, again from Strategic Planning Committee.
Yes, thank you, President Keller. This is for the service director to accept the grant that we have been awarded in order to purchase 2 parklands, one on Pickaway Street along the creek and one up on North Court Street.
Is there a motion?
Motion to pass.
Motion for passage by Audrey Lukasak, seconded by John Moach. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Klitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
Is assigned 4/23/2025. A resolution authorizing Uptown Circleville Main Street Program to use city streets for their First Friday event.
This resolution's up for second reading from from Service Committee. Tom?
Thank you, President Keller. We will go through the emergency on these, am I correct?
Yeah, so we need to suspend the rules.
So therefore, a whole lot of resolutions basically saying we've done them last year, we did them the year before, they were successful, we like them, we want to support the people in Circleville who are doing these nice things for us. This, in this case, Uptown Circleville Main Street, and this is their First Friday event.
Thank you very much. Motion,
Yes, to move,
suspend the rules?
yeah, that's it.
Motion by Tom Duval to suspend council rules, seconded by Katie Hedges. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend the rules.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
And now I would move that we approve.
You're okay with the motion to suspend the rules? Yes? So now you're making a motion?
Oh,
to-
I didn't say yes?
No. Sorry. I figured you would.
Sorry. We need that vote.
Yeah, that's what we did.
Yes,
Okay, now you're motioning to approve it.
yes, sir.
Moved by Tom Duval, second by Tom Klitzka. Roll call, please, to approve the resolution.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes,
Thank you.
Is assigned 4/24/2025. A resolution authorizing Uptown Circleville Main Street Program to city streets for their annual 3-on-3 tournament for 2025.
this is for the actual pumpkin show as opposed to using our parking lot for arts. And again, we've done it and we want to do it again.
Melissa, which one did you use?
Yeah,
3-on-3.
So she read the 3-on-3 one.
I'm sorry, this would, didn't be back to the 3-on-3. It's the Uptown Circleville Main Street.
Right.
Kendra, that was a test and you passed.
Thanks.
So this is for the Uptown Circleville 3-on-3 tournament. Is there a motion to suspend the rules? So moved by Katie Hedges, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please, to suspend council rules.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes,
Now we can take a motion to approve.
Motion for adoption?
Motion for adoption by Sherry Tice, seconded by Tom Klitzka. Roll call, please.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
yes.
The resolution is adopted.
And assigned 4/25/2025. Resolution authorizing Circleville Pumpkin Show, Inc. to operate the annual Circleville Pumpkin Show on various streets and sidewalks of the city of Circleville, Ohio.
Now, Tom, go ahead.
As described earlier.
Okay.
Suspend rules?
Motion to suspend the rules by Tom Duval, seconded by Katie Logan Hedges. Roll call, please.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes,
Council, you're free to act on the resolution.
Motion for passage.
Motion for passage by Katie Hedges, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
yes.
Resolution passes.
This is signed 4/26/2025. An ordinance declaring the intent to vacate alley number 1 located in the west right-of-way of Pickaway Street and Ohio Street, being the southeast corner of original Lot 18 in the Huston Second Edition to Circleville.
Council, you've heard the second reading of this ordinance from the Service Committee.
Again, there's three ordinances or three resolutions here. No, three ordinances which are going to vacate the alleys, which is currently in the Cellar Lumber lot, which has recently been sold and purchased. We have requirements that the people on either side, the owners on either side are willing to vacate. They are. It's been through planning and zoning and they approve. And on that basis, I would suggest we suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Tom Duval, seconded by Audrey Lukasak. Roll call, please.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes,
Motion for passage by Katie Hedges, seconded by Tom Duval. Roll call, please.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
yes.
The ordinance passes.
And is assigned 4/27/2025. An ordinance declaring the intent to vacate alley number 4 located in the northeast right-of-way corner of Pickaway Street and Ohio Street, being the southwest corner of the original Lot 8 in the Houston Second Edition to Circleville.
Council, second reading of this ordinance. Same
And
thing.
again, we're codifying what has already been done. This is number 2, which is alley number 4.
Is there a motion?
Suspend rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Tom Duval, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend the rules.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes,
Council, you're free to act.
Motion for passage?
Motion for passage by Sherry Tice, seconded by Tom Klitzka. Roll call, please.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
yes.
The ordinance passes.
And is assigned 4/28/2025. An ordinance declaring the intent to vacate alley number 5 located in the north.
Okay, Melissa, hold it for a second. That last one,
Oh, wait, was that already?
it was 426, so this would be 427.
I'm at the same numbers. The last one was 420. Alley number 4 should be 428, 2025.
Yep.
Alley number 1 should be 427, 2025. And Pumpkin Show Inc. is 426, 2025.
And this one's going to be
29, 2025 on number 5.
Yeah.
On alley number 5.
sorry, go
It's
ahead.
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. An ordinance declaring the intent to vacate alley number 5 located in the northwest right-of-way of Pickaway Street and Ohio Street, being the southeast corner of the original Lot 18 and the Houston Second Edition to Circleville.
Counsel for the second reading of this ordinance, Tom?
Again, if you look at that property, just for a little more information, there's an X right through the existing property where the building is located. Number 5 is across the street.
Right.
That said, I would move to suspend the rules.
Motion by Tom Duval to suspend council rules, seconded by John Moach. Roll call, please.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Pittsca,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Lukastak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Motion for passage?
Motion for passage by Sherry Tice, seconded by John Moach. Roll call, please.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Pittsca,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Lukasak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
And signed 4/29/2025. A resolution authorizing Circleville Elk number 77 to use city streets for their Flag Day celebration event.
Counsel for the second reading of this resolution.
And again, Elks, they're having their Flag Day celebration, their annual Flag Day celebration, which we would support, and on that basis would suggest we suspend council rules.
Motion to suspend council rules by Tom Duval, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitschko,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Lukasak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council, you're free to act on the resolution. Moved by Katie Hedges to approve, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitschko,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Lukasak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Resolution is approved.
And is signed 4/30/2025. A resolution allowing the city of Circleville to adopt the Circleville Safety Action Plan.
Last resolution from the service committee. Tom?
At our actual council meeting, we moved to start this process. At the service committee meeting, Strand Engineering, our consultant, presented the capital project for the city of Circleville, as well as the Safe Streets for All, SS4A. That presentation, that's what this addresses. I think we've officially titled it Safety Action Plan, Circleville Safety Action Plan. It talks about the streets, it talks about additional roundabouts. It does include the discussion of 4 lanes to 3 in South Court. This does not approve any of those. This simply puts on the record that we've accepted and recognize that as a recommendation from them to us, for we'll then have additional ordinances to decide what we want to do with.
Very good. Any other comments? If not, a motion.
Suspend rules?
Motion to suspend rules by Tom Duval, seconded by Audrey Lukasak. Roll call, please.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitschko,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Lukasak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council, you're free to act.
Motion for adoption?
Motion for adoption by Sherry Tice, seconded by Tom Klitschko. Roll call, please.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitschko,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Lukasak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The resolution passes.
This is signed 4/31/2025. A resolution authorizing the president of Circleville City Council digital scanning and archival preservation agreement with the HF Group.
Council, you've heard the second reading of this ordinance from the Finance Committee. Katie?
Thank you. Two things I'll point out before I turn it over to President Keller. This also correlates to a grant possibility that we have previously discussed for up to $5,000. The total included in this ordinance is the complete total. It does not take into account the $5,000 in the event that we were to get that. It also doesn't discuss a timeline for completing the project. So just because it includes the funds for the total project, it doesn't necessarily mean that we would do the whole thing at once. And then I'll let you explain.
Thank you, Kay. I'll speak to that. So in conversation with the mayor today, who is in the process of a budget cut work, if you will, asked if there's ways we could delay some of the work, postpone some of the work. I said yes. So as you mentioned, the grant that has been submitted and passed by council and has been submitted, that grant dollar amount is for $65,392, which covers the preservation, digitizing, collecting, and all the original pieces of legislation. It does not cover the 45 boxes of documents in the basement. So we would like to move forward with that. I talked it over with the mayor prior to tonight's meeting. So if we could amend the ordinance to only appropriate that money,
Tell me one more time, 65,692,
65,392.
392. Okay,
And that dollar amount matches the grant application,
perfect.
which covers the preservation of our original pieces of legislation.
So just want to make sure legislation's correct now. If we get that grant, then you're authorized up to the 65,000 because then the 5,000 for the grant would come off of that amount. So
Correct.
I would ask that it still says the cost up to, and then that $65,392.
Yes.
So then that covers if the grant is not awarded.
Yes, that's what I'm asking the amendment to.
Okay.
Okay, so I would make a motion to amend the ordinance to read up to $65,392 to be spent.
Is there a second to that amendment? So moved by Tom Duvall. Roll call, please, on the amendment.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Okay, council, you have now heard the second reading of this ordinance that has an amendment. Is there any other conversations?
Make a motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Katie Hedges, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend the rules.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council, you're free to act on the resolution.
I have just a comment or question. I wanted to clarify for everyone that this is going to preserve our ordinances from way back when, as we are required to do by the Ohio Revised Code. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yeah, we covered that during the committee and
Yes.
previous council meetings. It goes back to the early 1800s.
Yes.
Motion for passage? Is that
Motion
where we were?
passed by Sherry Tice, seconded by Tom Klitzka. Roll call, please.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The resolution passes.
and is assigned 4/32/2025. An ordinance to authorize and implement the labor agreement between the International Association of Firefighters Local 1232 and the City of Circleville and declaring an emergency.
Council, you've heard the second reading of this ordinance from the Finance Committee. Katie?
Thank you, President Keller. First, I would like to thank the representation that we have from the fire department this evening. Since the last meeting, I've also had the opportunity to speak to Chief Brian Thompson as well as Captain Scott Kavanaugh. So I appreciate the reach out there. And I do appreciate you guys coming this evening. So as we discussed previously, a summary of this collective bargaining agreement includes wages at dollar equity adjustment back to January 1st of 2025 plus a 3% increase. It includes a 3% increase for January 1st of 2026, as well as January 1st of 2027. The reopener for wages are permitted in 2026 and 2027 contingent upon the passage of a safety levy. It also includes an annual reimbursement of up to $250 for employees for a physical fitness incentive. It added a holiday of Juneteenth as a recognized holiday, and the conversion payment date changed from December 1st to November 1st. The longevity payment increased from $70 to $85 per year after 5 years of continuous service. The uniform allowance increases from $700 annually to $900. The gym or fitness membership, we did an article change to reflect broader eligibility, so it's not just the YMCA. And it also doubled in reimbursement increase from $150 to $300. Compensation time, the employees may accumulate up to 168 hours, which was previously 144. And then we made some changes to the paramedic certification. It includes the city will cover the cost of one paramedic course and examination prior to enrollment. Previously, reimbursement was following the certification. And then there is reimbursement required on a scaled level if the employee separates within 3 years, and that's line itemed out as well. So it did come out of finance with a recommendation from passage. We do appreciate everything that the law director did to get this together. So we highly recommended it, and we would make a motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Katie Hedges, seconded by Audrey Lukasak. Roll call, please, on the motion to suspend the rules.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Blitzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Council, you're free to act on the ordinance.
Motion for passage.
Motion for passage by Katie Hedges, seconded by John Moats. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Klutzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Ordinance passes.
Is assigned 4/33/2025. An ordinance amending the annual appropriation ordinance in the general fund 101 safety forces 0.5% tax fund 212 ARPA federal grant fund 257 of the city of Circleville.
Council, for the second reading of this financial housekeeping ordinance. Katie?
Thank you, President Keller. Okay, so we need to amend section 3 on the floor for this ordinance. This, my mistake, this should have been done previously. In the original ordinance that was presented to the Finance Committee in section 3, it called out for a reduction of two police personnel. These were 2 funded spots. They're not filled, but they were funded. Through discussion at the finance meeting, we realized that that really was a reduction of 1, not 2. So the new ordinance in section 3, again, this would be a change that I'm making for recommendation on the floor to change from $176,148.44 to $88,074.22. And that brings the total to a negative $229,680.02.
Is that in the form of?
It is.
So she's making a motion to amend section 3 with a new dollar amount. Is there a second to that? Seconded by John Moats. Roll call, please, on the motion to amend the ordinance.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Klutzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
All right.
The ordinance has been amended.
Council, before you move to suspend or vote, just so you know, there are 2 ordinances that are sitting at Councilperson Hedges' table. One is the original ordinance that was presented to Finance, and then the second is the anticipated amended ordinance that is now going to floor. So if the ordinance passes, it'll be in the amended form, but it's already been corrected. So there's no need to handwrite or change anything on that.
Yeah, thanks for making, whoever made that correction, thanks for getting that to us. So it'll be on record with the new changes, right?
Correct.
So with the amendment, I would make a motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Katie Hedges, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Klutzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Motion for passage.
Motion for passage by Katie Hedges, seconded by John Moats. Roll call, please, on the motion for passage.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Klutzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
It is assigned 4/34/2025. An ordinance amending the annual appropriation ordinance in the Safety Forces 0.5% tax fund, 227 capital improvement fund, 306 waterworks operating fund, 808 waterworks improvement and extension fund, 819 water plant rehabilitation fund, 838 and sewer replacement fund, 934 of the city of Circleville.
Council, for the second reading of this financial housekeeping ordinance. Katie?
Thank you. So this has previously been discussed at 2 separate finance meetings. This one has also gone through several changes. I need to make an amendment on the floor as from this one as well. So at our previous finance meeting, the understanding was that the operating fund 808, it was listed as 909. So we made an amendment. Is that right? We made a motion to amend it to 909. After that happened, the auditor came back and said, we realized it really should have been 808, which is what's reflected in the agenda. So we made the amendment to change it during the finance committee. And basically what I'm asking is that we amend it back to what the original version was that Mark sent out.
So you're going to go back to 8.
Yeah, so the operating fund 808, which is how the agenda is reflected.
Is that a form of a motion?
Yes.
So moved by Katie Hedges to change that fund number, seconded by Tom Duval. Roll call, please.
Hedges.
Yes.
Tice.
Yes.
Klutzka.
Yes.
Moats.
Yes.
Lukasak.
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
That's been amended.
Okay, so then another additional change that I would like to call out from the original that Mark had sent out. So there was a lot of question on this ordinance regarding a pass-through for monies at the water department. And so that has now been corrected. However, in the original version that was sent out to finance that you would have seen if you read the meeting minutes twice in previous minutes, in the final and revised version, which is correct, the order has been changed. The content is the same, but the order has been changed to match the fund numbers. So I just wanted to call that out so everyone sees the change. Again, content is the same, but the order has changed. So I don't think that that needs an amendment, but I did want to call that out. So with that being said, and Mark, do you want to speak a little bit to that?
I appreciate that. Basically, my system, when I did the Excel spreadsheet, it mixed the numbers around. And so, yeah, basically the correction, what you're saying is we're moving money from 808 to 838. We have to expend it in both of those. So that's where you're seeing those large numbers. The biggest thing to understand on this is all principal forgiveness, the 1.3 million that you see twice. So that's not money. It's more of a money up in the air that really never touches our accounts. So those are the big ones. And then of course the 934, which was where we had a purchase order from 2024 that carried over into 2025, but we're changing it from a COCOSing bill to an Arcadis bill. So that is in here as well, which is for 500,000. So those are the big things. But again, it was a spreadsheet thing that is fixed. And I appreciate your explanation on that. That makes sense how you said that to us.
Thank you, sir. So with that being said, I would make a
question.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Just for those keeping score, this is housekeeping ordinance number 4.
No, so this would be housekeeping ordinance number 2. The one that we did previously was 3.
The
This is-
total for the
Total
year.
total for the year.
Oh,
There's a total of 3. We did 3 before we did 2.
so letter N on the agenda related to housekeeping ordinance from Mark number 3.
Okay.
And O is number 2.
Okay. Just trying to keep track.
So I would make a motion to suspend the rules.
Motion to suspend the rules by Katie Hedges, seconded by Sherry Tice. Roll call, please.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitschko.
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Lukasak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
Counselor, you're free to act on the ordinance.
Motion for passage.
Motion for passage by Katie Hedges, seconded by Tom Klitschko. Roll call, please.
Hedges,
Yes.
Tice,
Yes.
Klitschko,
Yes.
Moats,
Yes.
Lukasak,
Yes.
Duval.
Yes.
The ordinance passes.
It is signed 4/35/2025, and that's it.
Melissa, thank you very much for all that reading. Council, we have a member absent tonight. Can I ask for an excuse? So moved by John Most to excuse
I'll make a motion to excuse Jeff Howell.
Jeff Hallinan, seconded by Audrey Lukasak. All those in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Council, is there any other new business? Sherry?
Thank you, President Keller. I would just like to announce that we will have a strategic planning meeting on May 6th at 6 o'clock before that council meeting. That's been rescheduled from next meeting due to a scheduling conflict. So,
Thank you. 6 o'clock on May 6th, Strategic Planning Committee.
yes,
Purpose is Tim Colburn.
yes, we've invited Tim Colburn of P3 to come and discuss our strategic plan as a city and where we are with our economic development and things that we'd like to pursue.
Very good.
Yes.
Any other new business? Tom?
And we do have a judicial committee meeting scheduled for next Monday, the 7th, at 6 p.m. here in council chamber. Also, we have some update regarding curbside recycling here in the city, which is good news. We're at 405. We need 45 more households to sign up for the service. So we need to get things done by May 1st. So we've got a little bit of time, but things are moving forward. So things are going to happen.
Almost a month. Good.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And we will have a strategic planning at 6:15 following the judicial next Monday, the 7th.
And Melissa, you have all those.
Got it.
Great. Anything else?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Katie Hedges, seconded by John Moats. All those in favor say aye.
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 Council meeting is adjourned at 6:29 PM.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.